much better.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Valerie, and here we are today making Cajun Cafe's bourbon chicken. So come on over here and let me show you what we're doing. This is 5 chicken thighs, and we're going to cut them up into small pieces. Now, I read somewhere that it's easier to cut chicken if it's frozen, but that's only if you have enough room so that you can lay out the chicken flat. If you can lay it out flat like this and freeze it all across, then it does cut much easier because chicken is kind of wet and flexible and moves under your finger, so you have to be very careful not to cut yourself while you're cutting up your chicken. I deboned and took the skins off of all this chicken last night. If you go to your grocery store or your butcher during the day when the butcher's actually in the shop, they have machines that can do this for you, so you can just buy the chicken and have them take off the skins, take out the bones, do everything for you, so when you get it home, it's ready to go. You just have to cut it up and get it ready to marinate. See, this is a little bit frozen in the middle, but I had to take it out of the freezer or I wouldn't have been able to cut it up. This recipe calls for chicken thighs. You know, most recipes these days, everybody works with the chicken breast. So that's why they don't have skinless, boneless thighs in the grocery stores. People don't ask for it very much, but usually if you get the main butcher, he can do it for you. The recipe calls for a pound, but I don't have a scale. So it would have been easier if they had just said how many thighs they thought you should pick up. So this is 5. It's a little bit more than a pound for sure, but I think we have plenty of liquid that it'll be covered. And it'll make a really nice meal for 4 people. You might even be able to get the butcher to cut it up into small pieces for you too. I'm not sure about that, but I know they can take out all the bones, remove the skin, cut some of the fat off too. You want to leave a little bit of fat because that makes your meat more moist as it cooks. But But chickens have a lot of fat on them, and I pulled most of that off and threw it away. And that's how you want to do that. You need a pretty sharp knife to do this too. Chicken is very hard to cut. So put all your chicken in a baking pan. I love these Pyrex pans. They can go straight from the refrigerator to the oven. They clean up easily. Press all your meat down so you have one nice layer. And especially if it's frozen, you want to do that. Mat it all together. Do not reuse the cutting board or the knife until you wash them really good. Chicken and pork both. You want to always wash your hands good. Wash your utensils good. You don't want to spread any germs from chicken or pork. Now, we're going to make our marinade. So we have brown sugar, soy sauce, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of ginger, onions, and of course the best part, a little Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. Let's pour that right in. All the alcohol cooks off when you cook it, so you don't have to worry about your grandmother who just came from church. We're going to stir that up good. And then pour it over the meat. Try to get a nice even layer. So that all the meat is submerged. And if you do this the night before, you can get up the next morning, stir it, turn all the meat, and then it's ready to cook later in the afternoon. Another thing I really like about these Pyrex dishes are these lids. They have nice snap-on lids. And then you just put it in the refrigerator. Now, I already had one cooking because I marinated one during the night. So this is what it looks like after you cook it. Doesn't that look fabulous?
That looks great.
I'm going to turn the oven off because we're going to put our meat back in here. Right now we're just going to take out all the meat. But we want to keep it warm because we're going to serve it. This looks fabulous. We're going to leave a little bit of meat in here just because meat is the best seasoning for a meat dish. So we're going to put this back in the oven just to stay warm. It's not going to cook anymore. And we're going to pour the rest of this into this saucepan. You want to be sure and get as much as you can. And that's another nice thing about Pyrex is things don't stick to the dish very much. And so you can get everything out easily. We're going to heat this up on medium. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of white wine. We're going to cook this just enough to get it hot. That cooks the alcohol off too. So while that's heating up, let's get a plate. The recipe didn't say how they serve this, so I made a little bit of a mixture of minute rice, both the white and the brown, so we're going to put a little bit of that on here. the wine starting to cook off now. A little bit of smoking is just fine. And we're going to get our meat, put it back in there. Stir it all together. Turn the oven off. Or turn the stove off. That looks fabulous. You could probably serve this with lettuce wraps too. Let's give it a try. Sweet. Excellent. You should definitely get this recipe.
All right. Thank you.